For Native American Heritage Month, we are studying the Occaneechi tribe. And our artist is from that tribe, Vicki Jeffries. She is a tribal administrator. She does beaded work on wooden looms to honor her ancestors. She tells stories through the shapes and colors that come from her beaded works of art. She says on the site that she hopes that people feel the sacredness of the beads in her work. All right, so for this project, you're gonna need a square paper to start with. So the best way to do that is to take a normal piece of paper, take one corner to the long side, and I'm not gonna fold completely down, I'm just going to use this edge to draw a line. You can also just measure this. And then you can either cut or you can fold back this extra part and just work on it like that. Or if you're careful, you can tear that part off. So if I fold a few times, I could tear, holding it down carefully, that part off. So have a square composition, and then you need to find something circular that almost fills up the entire page. So I'm gonna use my paper that I already had cut. It's a little thicker because I might use some different materials on it. And the first thing you need to draw, and since it's square, there really isn't a horizontal or vertical, is a circle, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be drawing a magnifying glass that's looking at a bead. The idea is that we're not going to copy her designs. We're going to emphasize the fact that each one of her designs and her beads holds a greater story. And that's going to be our inspiration. So you need a big circle, the size of the entire paper. It does not have to be perfect. Mine definitely does not look perfect. And then you need another circle on the inside. After that, one of these corners is going to be the handle of the magnifying glass. So you're going to draw two lines coming out for the middle part, and then a longer part for the thicker part, or the handle of the magnifying glass. I'm gonna go ahead with Sharpie and trace this now. And hopefully clean up my lines a little bit. I'll let mine go off the page. Once again, if you can find something to trace, that would probably make it a lot easier. That's pretty good. Once again, you can have to do that with Sharpie, but take your time to try to make your very large magnifying glass. It's kind of our official frame for this piece of artwork. All right, the next thing we're going to do is underneath our magnifying glass, we're going to draw beads. Now, we're going to draw spherical beads that are connected on a string. So remember, draw lightly, so that way you can do some erasing. But very big in the middle of your magnifying glass, I would like you to draw another circle. This is going to be our main bead that has something in it. Remember, if yours doesn't look exactly like mine, that is okay. Our goal for this is just to draw something that shows that looking further into the symbolism of these objects will tell us more about Native American culture. So this is not about making it look exactly like mine. So the next thing we need to do is have a string through the bead and make it look like it's connected to two other beads. So at the top here, we're going to draw an oval right at the edge. And that's the top opening of the bead. And we're going to erase a little bit of the edge here. And we're going to draw from this bottom corner or bottom side of the bead opening a string that comes up. So I'm doing both sides of the string like that. So it looks like now this is an opening and a string is going inside. Now in position we probably wouldn't see the other side of the bead, so the next string is just going to come out from where the other side would probably be positioned. Don't go all the way to the edge yet. We're going to draw the other beads that are in our chain of beads. So this top bead that would go off the magnifying glass, kind of like this one, we wouldn't see the bottom of, so I'm going to just kind of do that, like how it is down here. And then this one, we can close it like it is here. Oops, do an oval that actually connects to the string. And then do two lines going out so that way it looks like another bead going into, or another bead on this string of beads. All right, then, since this is a magnifying glass, on the outside of the magnifying glass, we can do a string of, starting with a little half bead. We can do a string of beads that kind of fills this negative space. And see, I'm making them a little more just kind of like shapes rather than having that form and that 3D element of the opening. You could do the 3D element of the opening if you'd like to. There you go. Okay, so I went ahead and I traced my beads just so they had a permanent kind of feel to them. So inside my bead, I want to show that it's more than it's just a decorative thing, but tells a story. So I was going to draw a landscape that represented a more historic view of how Native Americans lived. So for my landscape, I'm going to do a horizon line across the bead. I'm going to do it lightly because I'm going to draw over it. I did it kind of curved because, well, beads are rounded, so it kind of curved. I'm going to do some mountains. And remember, yours does not have to look exactly like mine. In fact, if you would like to do another attribute of Native American culture inside your bead, that would be great too. Going to do some trees, just so that way we have some diversity in the landscape, show the natural environment, place without buildings. And then I'm going to draw a river because a lot of things happened around rivers. A lot of tribes made their home around rivers for either its resources or travel or safety. The Occaneechi had their islands first, and then they moved to rivers that were in North Carolina. And then I'm going to do a few structures to show the evidence of the tribe and how they kind of go together with the nature around them. Once again, we're trying to show a closer view into the meaning of these beads, not necessarily copy a certain design of a certain culture. So what we're going to do now, you can go ahead and color this in the way you'd like to, and then think about how you can create contrast and a background with your artwork. How can you draw attention to this bead? How can you make it important for people to pay attention to? So I decided that my beads were mainly going to be cool colors with a few things that are neutral colors. And then my background was going to be warm colors to make my beads stand out more. So this is going to be my halfway point. Next time I'm going to finish painting in the sky and the ground, as well as a background that is warm colored to make my beads stand out more. I'm going to try to think about how I can create even more kind of attention to the bead, and using lines and probably other types of compositional devices.